Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the University of Winnipeg's Pride Flag Raising Ceremony. My name is Dr. Paul Lawrie. I'm the Associate Dean of Arts and an ally. Although celebrations will be different this year, I'm sure you'll all find your own special and unique ways to show your pride. And I'd like to welcome our community partners who are with us here to celebrate the raising of the flags, and to all of those who are watching us live on Facebook. I'd like to mention that we are on Treaty 1 territory in the heart of the Métis Nation. Acknowledging our presence on this land reminds us that all space carries the weight of past histories, and it shapes the realities of all of us who come to reside there. We at the University of Winnipeg, situated in the heart of a diverse, vibrant, yet often underserved urban community, confront these legacies on an everyday basis. Through our research, our teaching, and outreach, we strive to critique, define, and expand our understandings of the public good. Through purposeful action, whether it be expanding access to non-traditional learners, the indigenization of our curriculum, or creating safe spaces and supports. Actions such as the calls to action based on findings from the successful Call to Conversation conference in 2017 that was organized by Dr. Sharon Paul Ruprai and Chantal Fiola. Calls to action that highlight ongoing discrimination based on gender identity, racialization, and/or sexuality in the lives of Two-Spirit and queer and trans people of color. We continue to strive and build these coalitions between our communities through initiatives such as the U of W's Alumni Association Two-Spirit LGBTQ+ Student Award, established in 2017 as a way of expressing alumni support for those students. And you can show your pride and support Two-Spirit LGBTQ+ students through the purchase of a University of Winnipeg Pride Belong t-shirt from the University of Winnipeg bookstore online. $5 of every purchase will go directly to helping fund the Alumni Student Award, and we want to acknowledge Follett Canada as a truly committed partner in this initiative. Also, the Two-Spirit Archive, housed here at the U of W, whose mission is to develop an internationally renowned center to support and honor the stories and histories of the Two-Spirit community. The original material for which was accumulated and donated by Dr. Albert McLeod, who is with us today. Preserving these histories for future generations requires active and ongoing financial support. So if you are able, please contact Brett Lougheed at the UW Archives to make a donation. Initiatives such as all of these remind us that pride is not passive, but rather a call to live a truly authentic life, free of shame or fear, to build lives and communities defined by resilience, strength, justice, and love. To quote the author James Baldwin, quote, "Somebody, your father or mine, should have told us that not many people have ever died of love, but multitudes have perished and are perishing every hour, and in the oddest places, for the lack of love." In this way, pride in its many forms honors the radical loves of the past, present, and future. And so it is now my pleasure to request that the flags be raised. I'd like now to introduce Dr. James Currie, Interim President and the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Winnipeg.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us today for this Pride and Two-Spirit flag raising ceremony. I'd like to thank Dr. Paul Lawrie, Associate Dean of Arts, for emceeing today's ceremony. While we cannot all be together in person, I'm thankful for the opportunity to celebrate virtually. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge again the University of Winnipeg is located on ancestral lands on Treaty 1 territory. These lands are the heartland of the Métis people. We acknowledge that our water is sourced from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation. Part of my role as interim president of the University of Winnipeg is to think on the fundamental oxygen of universities: autonomy, free inquiry, and honest debate. To understand autonomy, I've recently been reading Spheres of Justice by the Princeton philosopher Michael Walzer. As he deals with issues of justice, Walzer works in a framework that recognizes the independent sovereignty of a variety of spheres: political, religious, family, individual. As an example of independent spheres, as a Canadian politician said 50 years ago, the state has no place in the bedrooms of the nation. In the same vein, university presidents have no place as judges of social or scholarly questions, declaring the winners, the losers, the acceptable, the taboo. Instead, our role is to welcome voices which are ready to think together, to struggle, to debate. Our students, faculty, and staff come from all walks of life. We work hard to cultivate a learning environment that encourages diverse ways of thinking. I believe this is one of the keys to our success, socially and economically. I'm proud of UWinnipeg's long-standing commitment to fostering and promoting diversity and inclusion, both on and off campus. Research in which our faculty and students participate shapes educational institutions, government, private sector, and museums. It shapes how we remember history, how we tell stories, how we create art, and how we perform scientific discovery. During last year's Pride celebrations, the UWinnipeg Archives, in collaboration with the Two-Spirited people of Manitoba, officially launched the Two-Spirit Archives at UWinnipeg. This collection, donated by honorary doctorate recipient Albert McLeod, is believed to be the most comprehensive archival collection of Two-Spirit material in Canada. We're thrilled to have Albert joining us today. A well-respected knowledge keeper, Albert has worked tirelessly for the rights of Two-Spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, and queer, 2S, LGBTQ+ people. Albert was also active in UWinnipeg's Call to Conversation conference in 2017. Dr. Sharon Paul Ruprai, UWinnipeg Pride Chair and Associate Professor of Women's and Gender Studies, co-chaired this conference with Dr. Chantal Fiola. They created a space for dialogue to guide the creation of inclusive spaces and address discrimination based on gender identity, racialization, and sexuality. Throughout the year, interdisciplinary projects such as Museum Queries address these important issues and provide research opportunities for students. In 2018, the Alumni Association created a new student award to support talented undergraduate students who identify as 2S LGBTQ+. If you're wearing a Pride-themed Belong t-shirt, I want to thank you. Proceeds from your purchase have helped support this scholarship. This morning, we're also looking forward to a performance by Harmony Knott of Two-Spirited People of Manitoba. Harmony is to be honoring us with a drum song. Thank you for sharing your talent with us, Harmony. I'd also like to mention Uzoma Asagwara, MLA for Union Station, who will be participating in a dialogue on Friday. Uzoma is a dynamic public speaker and community organizer, a former Westman athlete, a social justice advocate, and founder of QTPOC Winnipeg. Thanks also to everyone who's joining us online today. Maintaining a safe and welcoming campus, a place where everyone belongs, is an ongoing work, and it is work we are committed to. On behalf of all of us at the University of Winnipeg, happy Pride.
Thank you, Dr. Currie. I'd now like to invite Usoma Asagawa to speak. Uzoma is our Union Station MLA, a registered psychiatric nurse, a former member of the Canadian national basketball team, and they recently made history as the first Black, queer, gender non-conforming person elected to the Manitoba Legislative Assembly. So please join me in welcoming Representative Asagawa.
Good morning, everyone. I am honored to be here today. I am the MLA for the constituency of Union Station, and I'm very, very excited to be able to bring greetings on behalf of our entire caucus and as a representative in the Provincial Legislative Assembly. I am also really proud to be here and take part in today's flag raising, as I am an alumni of the University of Winnipeg. I went to school here. I played basketball on the Westman for 5 years, and it's really great to be back here in this capacity as an elected representative, as an organizer in the 2S LGBTQ community, and as somebody who has been attached to the school, to the halls, the work, the educators and community that is built here. And so I wish everyone a very happy Digital Pride. These are very unique times, and it is an amazing experience to see how folks have rallied together to make sure we still have these experiences. So happy Pride to everyone, and thank you to the University of Winnipeg for these ceremonies and acknowledging how important this festival and this period of time is for our collective communities.
I'd now like to introduce Dr. Albert McLeod. As Dr. Currie mentioned, Dr. McLeod is a UW Honorary Doctorate of Laws recipient and the co-director of Two-Spirited People of Manitoba. He is a well-respected knowledge keeper, and he has worked tirelessly for the rights of two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, and queer people in the local community and across the continent. Please join me in welcoming Dr. McLeod to the podium.
Thank you, and good morning, everybody. And it's a great time to be here during Pride Winnipeg Week. And thank you to the University of Winnipeg for inviting me to speak this morning. This morning we're raising the Indigenous Pride flag, which includes a medicine wheel and the Pride colors. And it really is about the merging of two histories, two identities, and two celebrations of the human condition. And I'm grateful for the university for including the raising of our flag today. The university in the past few years has been instrumental in supporting Two-Spirit people in the institution to have access to education, access to the archives, and also to encourage education to Two-Spirit youth as a course in their career, and to think about their roles in our society as Indigenous LGBTQ people and what they contribute. This year is the 30th anniversary of the introduction of the Two-Spirit name that happened just north of Winnipeg in Beausejour, Manitoba. Dr. Myra Laramie brought the name to our gathering at the San DeSoto Spiritual Center, and that name has been adopted by Indigenous LGBTQ people across North America, including Canada and the United States. In the Indigenous culture, spiritual naming is very important. It connects us to our communities, our families, and our nations spiritually. It also connects us to the land that we live on, the animals, the plants, the water, and also the sky world. So it's very important that in terms of our history, that it is acknowledged that Indigenous LGBTQ people were here on this continent thousands of years before colonization. Societies and understandings, language evolved around our identities, and that's something we want to bring to the broader LGBTQ community to understand not only the experience of Indigenous LGBTQ people, but that of other people across the world that come from queer people of color communities and other Indigenous societies in Australia, New Zealand, and other parts of the world. So today is a very important day that for LGBT people, this is not our first pandemic. We survived the HIV/AIDS pandemic that began in the early 80s in North America, and that again we are faced with a different type of pandemic, but again we come together to share our knowledge of that first pandemic, how we survived, and how we will survive this pandemic as we move forward. So thank you to the university and Pride Winnipeg for all their events this week and the celebration of the raising of the flags. Thank you.
Bonjour, aptad pakanaga mo pinashiskap mas discuss no kumakagimino idon. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you all earlier today as live as I'm taking precaution of the COVID-19, and I would have been glad to be there with you, but I will be singing you a song. This song always comes to me when I go to places like this. When I go to places, especially in a time of hard times, especially when people need us, especially when we need to help ourselves. This is a time where we cannot join hands. This is a time where we cannot be near each other, but to care for each other from a distance. You could show love from a distance. I come to you now with a song that the creators have given to me on the way here. As I always do, I will call upon the spirits, the entities, the animals, and all living and breathing things that has a life and a spirit and a name. During this hard time, I come to you, and it's been a long time since I've held my tradition, but in the days of need, I am back for you. I am back to bring the grandmothers and grandfathers to meet us here. I'm going to bring your loved ones. I'm going to bring your furry loved ones, whatever made your heart swell. For a lot of people are mourning, a lot of people are hurting, a lot of people are traumatized, a lot of people are recovering. No matter what path we take, we will all stay strong. And in order for things to go right, social distancing, wash your hands, and be careful where you are, follow procedures, and you'll be fine. The Creator will be there for you. On a time like this, I will sing for you. I can only imagine how many people we have lost. And I will bring him here today during my 4 rounds of singing. It takes a lot out of me when I do this for you. But today is a day where it's needed. I present to you the one and only great eagle of the East that brings us the teaching of love. As I got here, I came from the eastern direction. I didn't know what to sing, and it's been a long time, like I mentioned. And then it dawned on me. I said, I'm coming from the east. I'm coming here to spread love from a distance. Why, great eagle, haven't I seen you in a long time? I need that love to myself. Love myself, and in order to love others. And I will call upon the great eagle to bring us our loved ones. I am very scared. I am very shaky right now to be holding this shield and my sword. But I am needed today. It's a fair one. We all make mistakes, and you know what? I always start. Like I said, I've been out of touch. Bear with me. It's just way too strong for me right now. But at least I got to make a mistake in front of you. Like, we all need mistakes to go through life. This is the one thing that we learned. Like, we learned from our mistakes to stay strong. As I show you in front of me, that like not everything can be perfect. But at least I came here for you today. This is kind of overwhelming for me. And I am being honest with my words. And thank you very much.
At this point, I'd like to thank all of our speakers, Dr. McLeod, Dr. Currie. I'd like to thank all of you who have joined us live on Facebook today to celebrate the love and to show your pride. Happy Pride to everyone. Thank you very much.